Hey guys, what's up? It's Frank here from Altcoin Buzz. So obviously we've seen a lot of blood over the past several weeks, but over the past week, we are seeing some notable recoveries. One of those recoveries, of course, is Aave. If we have a look at Aave over here, we can see that over the past week, it's had a 26.5% growth. Aave currently in 48th place, but if we rank it by the growth of the past 7 days, Aave is actually in 6th place in terms of its bounce back. So we're going to have a look at the most important levels, the patterns which are playing out, and stick around until the end of the video for me to let you know which are the levels you need to be watching out for and whether or not this is a trade which you would want to get into. We'll also be looking at Aave BTC and Aave ETH so that you can compare Aave as an investment to these other altcoins. And also one very interesting thing to note about this Aave BTC graph, which we will cover today. Now, for those of you who don't know, Altcoin Buzz is first and foremost a crypto investment research company, and we have been providing you numerous 100x returns since 2017. So if you want to get in on that action, join our Altcoin Buzz Access group, where we document up-to-date research covering undervalued altcoin gems, NFT minting opportunities, and our portfolio strategies. So click the link up above to take part in the action, or down in the pinned comment section down below. Also, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you don't miss any future updates. And finally, please note that none of this is financial advice. Okay, so starting out on the weekly time frame, we are seeing this massive descending triangle, and we recently had this second touch on the bottom, which has found support. So we are currently in the middle of this triangle. This is technically a bullish pattern, but of course we would have to break out of this diagonal line from the top, and of course we are a long way away from breaking out of that just yet. That being said, we have a positive sign, which is a bullish divergence, a lower low in price on the weekly time frame, a higher high, a slightly higher high in our RSI, and a very clear higher high on the MACD histogram. So that is a good sign, a sign that we might see some further recovery over the coming week or two. Now, before we get down to the daily and 4-hour time frames for me to give you the levels that you need to be watching if you're trading Aave, let's have a look at Aave BTC. Interestingly enough, Aave BTC launched as a trading pair in December 2017. So it's been 4.5 years, and it had a very solid run. Of course, we had a long bear market, but then we crossed previous high. Of course, this very notable level of 0.00227 marked resistance on the first move up. It found support and created a massive pivot point on the way down. And interestingly enough, we have come very close to this. So of course we might break through it again and have a similar instance as we had before, where the wick goes below it and then the next wick brings us back up. But it's interesting to note that we are back at this critical support for Aave BTC. And also interesting to note that Aave has been outperforming Bitcoin over the past 4 years, despite the price action over the past several months being in a clear downtrend. The same cannot be said for Aave ETH. ETH has been outperforming Aave quite clearly over the past year and a half or so. So just something to note. Remember, if you're investing or trading altcoins, it's important to be making more than you would make if you had simply bought Ethereum or Bitcoin. Okay, so now going down to the daily time frame on Aave USDT here on Binance, we are seeing this diagonal resistance line. We had one touch over here, and then a second touch, and now a third touch. So the bulls will need to break through this diagonal resistance before we can show further strength, because really what we're looking at here, this channel that we're seeing here, looks very much like a bear flag. We have a significant move down here, and a bear flag, of course, is a pattern which signifies that we will have another move down, that we're just having a cooling off. And certainly the RSI has cooled off significantly, so there is a lot of room for it to go down. And technically, this is what one would expect for Aave USDT on the daily time frame. Now remember, the weekly time frame has shown a bullish divergence, so we might expect the price to hold in this range for a while before we break down. But certainly from a technical perspective, we are in a downtrend on the weekly time frame, on the daily time frame. It's only on the 4-hour time frame where things start to look different. And here you can see that we are in an uptrend, but of course we have this critical support. The most immediate support, of course, the 4-hour is the $93.1 level. This is important for two reasons. Number one is that it's the previous 4-hour low, or at least the major pivot point of the previous 4-hour low. And second is that if we break this, we will likely break this bear flag as well. And if we break this bear flag to the downside, then we will likely see more downwards price action towards the $79.2 level. That's a more important level on the daily time frame. This 79.2, you can see, marked a daily low. And then, of course, if we break that, we have the major daily pivot point, the most recent one, which is the $64.8 level. So when it comes to resistance, the important resistance to break will be this level over here, the $113.7 level. Why? Because we have seen multiple support zones over here in the past. So breaking this would be a good piece of news for the bulls. Now, if we zoom out to see what the next potential resistance would be, really, as you can see, this is a very clear level, the 113.9. The next thing we would do to mark a potential resistance would be to take a Fibonacci retracement, probably of this whole move down, and see where the next level would be, and that would take us at the 382. So the $139.7 level. And then finally, I would take the next major resistance as being the major volume, probably around the 618 over here. You can see these yellow and blue bars represent where there's been a lot of price action in that area. So if we were to cross this level, this would be a good sign for the bulls. And of course, then we would also have broken this descending triangle. But basically, I would not be trading this. It does not look like a very good asset to trade right now, partly because we're seeing this weekly overextension. So even though we have a bear flag and we could potentially short it, the weekly is a bit overextended. And also because we are seeing potential support here on Aave BTC. So I would not be shorting this. I would not be longing it yet. We do not yet have enough evidence to suggest that we can be longing it. And in fact, if you look at the 4-hour time frame on the MACD, you can see that we have decreasing momentum here. We've had a bearish crossover. So things are not looking very good on any time frame really on Aave currently. Okay guys, that's been it from me for today. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like the previous videos which I made on BNB, which you can find here, as well as CRO Kronos. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.